Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Have y'all looked over the president's budget that came out 2 days ago? If you haven't, you probably should. Yeah, I know it's 1,224 pages. Chances are not many of you are going to read 1,224 pages, but that's why I'm here. I'm Elizabeth Inman, Federal Employee Benefit Coordinators. I'm going to start coming to you live here from my office. There is just so much information to share. You know, the headlines right now is that this 2026 budget is set to shave off around 107,000 additional federal jobs. But if you read the pages, if you read between the lines, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, just when we all thought 2025 was a nightmare when it comes to federal jobs and how many DRPs, deferred resignation programs, came out, RIFs, VERAs, early retirement offers came out. It's not over, and it's not going to be over anytime soon, you guys. We need to be prepared. We need to be ready. Now, I'm a girl with a glass half full. I in my own federal career lived through RIFs. I lived through my job being eliminated. I really do know what that feels like myself. And I'm having people come sit at that table right back there and work through their retirement plans that they didn't know was going to be activated in 2025. I mean, I've got so many stories. I'm going to start sharing stories with you. Real life scenarios of what's happening to people. I've got some interviews lined up with some people from the IRS that their job was just eliminated mid-career. I've got some people lined up from NASA that their job just went away at the stroke of a pen. I'm going to bring some real life situations to you. I'm going to tell some stories of someone with a 42-year career that had no intentions of retiring, and yet they were forced to retire. Yeah, those are the kind of things we're going to talk about. But right now I want to talk about this budget. I want to talk about this President's budget, volumes and documents. What is it that's in this fiscal year 26 budget? You know, things like even steeper cuts than what came out in 2025. Wow. Trump's workforce cuts in 26. Many of the cuts isn't even in this budget. It's not even in the 1,224 pages. But what is in the pages, you know, current plans have been paused. Some of the things that was started in 2025 has reached a pause because the courts have paused them. Now, as of Monday, there's been an appeal made by the administration to stop the pauses, to get the courts to release that pause. We'll see the outcome of that. We'll know over the coming days whether or not the pause is going to stick or whether they're going to be able to move forward. But here's the deal, guys. If you're a federal employee being impacted, one way or another, the cuts are going to move forward. What the courts are going to rule is whether or not there has to be congressional approval for these cuts. You still need to be prepared. You still need to be prepared. So that appeal was made 2 days ago to go forward with the cuts that was implemented in 2025. But what's being proposed for 2026 is some of the highest cuts is from the Department of Education. Now, this is over and above what's already been cut. The Department of Education was already cut by a third, and they're going to cut it even more. OPM, Office of Personnel Management, the very organization that processes all of the early outs, all of the RIFs, all of the regular retirements, major cuts to that organization. Is that going to impact how quick you get your first retirement check? What a question. How about GSA and the Small Business Administration, NASA, more hits for NASA, more hits for the IRS. Yeah. Are you expecting a tax refund? Get ready. More than 20% cuts for the Department of Labor, for the Housing and Urban Development, the Department of Agriculture. Now, the Department of Transportation is the only organization, and it's mainly because of the FAA that's going to have a slight increase in staffing, and the Border Patrol, a slight increase in staffing. Other cuts are coming for FEMA. About a 13% cut is proposed for FEMA, 6% cut for the TSA, and then the forestry, who's already had 10 offices completely cut, many of those 100% decrease in their offices. The Natural Resource Department, proposal of more than 4,000 additional job cuts. HHS has already laid off 10,000 offices, 10,000 employees. And then again, I mentioned the Treasury Department, the IRS, hit hard. So has the National Parks Department, hit hard. So Department of Labor, USDA, the State Education Department, the State Department itself, NSF, EPA, SSA, major cuts. So when we're looking at probably SSA around 7% cuts, Department of Justice, DOC, DHS, you know, the VA. Oh my goodness, the VA shed over 80,000 jobs, and additional jobs are going to be hit in the VA that's not a part of this budget document. They're targeting more VA jobs. It's not even spelled out in the budget plan that's being broadcast. Same way with the Department of Defense. It's being stated that over 60,000 jobs are being targeted. That is not part of this budget plan. So the prediction is the cuts are going to expand beyond this 1,200-page document over time. Fasten your seatbelt, folks. This isn't going away anytime soon. What can you do? What can you do to be prepared? So, you know, you were midway through your career, and many people had not started a strategic federal retirement plan yet. I hadn't midway through my career. I mean, we're midway through. Who thinks about retirement, right? I mean, many of us hadn't even started thinking about estate plans. Those are things that you need to get started on. You need to think about those things. What is it that you don't know that creeps up and bites you at retirement? The things you don't understand about your benefits. Many people don't even understand how their benefits work while they're employed. I mean, person after person after person sits at that table right back there, and they don't even know what their benefits are. They don't know what they signed up for when they got hired. You need to know. You need to know now. You need to know what the 17-point assessment is for federal retirement. I'll give you one for free. You can contact my office. You know, just go to my website, www.febcnow.com. And I don't want to be salesman-y about this. I am a FERS federal retiree drawing a pension from the FERS system. Yeah, I'm in business. I'm doing this as a second career, but it's not a slogan for me. I want to sit here at my desk, and over the next however long it takes to get through this, I want to help people. I want to help people. That person who had 42 years in and was losing his job, when he finished at this table with his wife sitting beside him, when we finished, he stood up and he gave me the biggest hug ever. And then his wife stood up with her oxygen can beside her, and she put her little arms around my waist, and with tears in her eyes, she hugged me and thanked me. And I am telling y'all, get to know me a little bit. Get to know me a little bit. There is a difference with me. There is a difference because I truly do care. I'll never, ever forget what it felt like the first time my job was eliminated working for the federal government. I remember those feelings well. I remember getting the paperwork for a RIF and not understanding the first thing about it. I really do care. And I don't apologize for the business model that I have in place, because I know the value that I have to offer walking through the paperwork and understanding what it takes to be prepared when those kind of things happen. And the peace of mind that you get with the education about understanding what a brand new deferred retirement plan really means, what a VERA really entails, what your options are on the CTAPs for a RIF, how to position yourself to appeal actions that are being taken that really shouldn't have been taken, because the very people that's issuing those things are they themselves a victim of what's happening across the board, across our federal agencies. So yeah, I can look anybody in the eyes and I can tell you that I am different. And yeah, I'll get some criticism. It comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. But I'm going to continue with these videos, educational videos that's going to talk about this budget plan. You know, the biggest thing that's on the board right now, as far as I'm concerned, is this FERS supplement going away. When they created the FERS retirement plan for us, they allowed us to be able to retire before we're eligible to draw Social Security. And they created that FERS supplement to fill the gap. And now they're just across the board going to take that away. They're going to take that away? Really? It's 1/3 of our retirement for those that would be eligible to retire. They're going to delay hundreds of thousands of people's ability to retire by taking that off of the table. That's part of the employment contract that was offered to us as FERS employees. Yeah, what can we do? How can you position yourself? There are things you can do, but it takes being equipped. It takes being educated, knowing what's happening. I've got a stack of information that I'm going to bring forward in videos as we continue on. So stay tuned to this Facebook page. Stay tuned to the Federal Employees Benefit channel on YouTube. Subscribe, like the channel, and share it with all of your friends.